Yes, yes, you know how to. Sharon, that's my forebearer in this business. He introduced me to TV.
Nice.
Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Radio, so
Yeah.
so he can decide to be late and I cannot talk.
No, I was very cautious of that.
Most you're not. Memories 96.5 FM, your memorable station all the time. I want to sincerely apologize for not being around last week to serve you a very beautiful dosage of our regular Tuesday backpass Patrick EDEKE of Memories 96.5 FM. That being said, there were things that were beyond our control and we sincerely apologize that they did not come as usual. We want to use this opportunity to say we are sincerely sorry. And because of that, we will give you, we're going to serve you one of the sumptuous and scrumptious edition of Backpass with Patrick EDEKE of Memories 96.5 FM here in Oyo. Remember, it is a conversation that you could be part of if you dial in the number 0803 085 7755. Alternatively, you can still dial 0809 066 6909. That can also double as your WhatsApp message platform for you to send your WhatsApp here so we can read your opinion on what we're saying. But remember, the serial, it's radio culture. You can also, if you're on Facebook, hook on to our Facebook page on the Memories 965 FM. That's the handle, Memories 965 FM. Now it's we're a little bit behind on schedule as it were because of the rain. Like I said, it's waiting here on Tuesday, and we're super excited that the showers of blessings has not ceased. I'm not here alone in the studio. I've got a very astute gentleman here on the floor there. We're going to be looking at the local government autonomy and the local government elections coming up in Enquiry State in October. What's your take on it? Now, I won't be doing that alone. I have the privilege of having a very seasoned journalist here in the house. Is not one person, but the president of Ezun Lomaro is mostly known as Pastor Bright Solution. But because of the fact that I introduced him as the president of Ezun Lomaro, which is the apex youth body in our nation, I would prefer to use, I will swap the pastor with Ulap. So Ulap, Bright Solution, it's nice to have you here in the house.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Now the local government autonomy news had swept across the country. I don't want to use the word holabalo, but let me say careful about it across the nation. A lot of people are excited, but a lot of people are, some people are skeptical, because looking at some of these issues or with the system where government will announce something. I know, last time we heard that the former administration of the president Buhari had said that some of these monies were going to be paid straight to the local government, and it never happened until he left. And now we have, as part of the restructuring of the President Tinubu, the Supreme Court just a couple of days ago announced the financial autonomy of the local government. And then what was very key there was that every state that probably do not have elected local government officials, that their funds will not be released. Now, this is a double Trump question 20. First of all, what's your take on local government autonomy? And secondly, how do you see the fact that states that don't have elected local government chairmen?
Yes, Patrick, thank you very much for beginning with that question and talking about the autonomy of the local government. Last time they really brought those things out from the state house trying to vote for the autonomy. But I was surprised that even people from the local government, those local government chairmen, then most of them went to court, most of them sued that they don't want the autonomy. Most of them publicly came out to radio houses and television houses to say that they don't want autonomy. And you cannot likely say, how can you have people and there is a way out for them, and those set of people are the one telling the government that we don't want to be free. People are in bondage and people don't want to be free. But I thank God for the government of Muhammadu Buhari, who started the process and ended up in the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu that has brought it to bear. And there is no way the government of General Muhammadu Buhari would have done it, because number one, the court issue, the constitution did not permit that. And until Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, and you can see that it is not just from him and just not from the Senate, but the Supreme Court has the way out of it. And this is a good thing that has come into the third tier of the government. And we want to believe that we begin to experience a development in those places. But I said on television last week that I'm not too keen about the autonomy. Looking back, the autonomy is good, but looking back to the days local government used to have their money. Have you forgotten that still in this country and in this state, people were crying out and talking about salaries not paid to the workers, the teachers were owed, and too many things happened. And that is when we began to hear, still in this state, zero allocation. So when the allocation comes in, after paying the salaries and doing all whatnot, they have zero, which were not really true. But now that the autonomy has really been granted them, PATRYK, I'm afraid. I'm afraid because the managers of this fund, the huge fund that will be, trunking into their accounts month after month. I'm afraid of the managers of this fund. Talking about government will always have good packages for the people, but the executors of those projects will be the one that will mismanage everything. So as we are all glamoring and getting happy about the autonomy that has been granted, have we also talked about the managers of these funds?
Okay, now a lot of people have also argued that the autonomy being granted, my phone has already goes in, but just give us some time. A lot of people are already arguing that section, I know you're not a lawyer, but I mean, come on, as a journalist, you are better to be versatile in all aspects of it. Now, section 162, subsection 6 of our constitution clearly talks about joint account between state and local government, which has not yet been amended. It's not yet amended. Now, why now? When you order direct payment from the federation account to local government account and not the joint account enshrined in the constitution, is the Supreme Court now circumventing the constitution as well?
Well, Pat, in Nigeria, everything, things are done assiduously. Let me use that word. But I want to believe that that's the first stage to that. So when we really come home, we will sort out the differences.
How do you sort? Because now the issue is that where does the Supreme Court get its power to circumvent the constitution? Because now it will amount to the Supreme Court not adhering to the letters of the constitution as it were.
No, but if we allow this thing to be like it were in the days of President Buhari, it will still be rigmaroling around. So as the Supreme Court have given their judgment, I believe it's for the state to come back and see what they could do, what they can do in order to do the right thing. The joint account is in the constitution. People might have brought it into the constitution. The same people who brought it, who took it into the constitution, can equally bring it out for a smooth running.
You're the president of Israel, the apex body of our youth across the whole world, as it were. And then we're talking something that's constitutional here. Now, I also understand that in your organization, you have a constitution. You have people who adhere to it. Now, the question here is from other people who are asking, if section 162, subsection 6, it's talking about the joint account, and then the Supreme Court now said, hey, circumvent the joint account, pay straight to these people. Have they not, circumvent or go behind the constitution, making the constitution ineffective at that particular point?
PATRYK, I may not be a lawyer to answer you, but I know that in some instance, some provision of the constitution can be suspended to get things done.
All right, going forward, this is something about the managers, which is very key to me.
Yeah.
The managers of those funds, because it is key. It's not about not how much money you've got, but what you do with it. Because I am of the opinion that I'm from a quite state, and I know very well that we have the best chefs around, cooks, if you want to refer to them like that. And it's not about the amount of money you give to our women that makes them give us the best kind of kitchen. If you give them more money, fine, but we can cook. What I'm trying to say is that we are good managers, as it were. Now, going back to the managers, what is your major concern about the managers of these funds if peradventure this Supreme Court judgment is implemented?
Thank you very much, Patrick, because that is my real area of concern. Come to think about it, we have people who have represented us many years back, and each time you look at them, they will tell you there's no money. No money in the government, no money within. But when you look at their life, at least when they went there, they didn't have a house. When they went there, they didn't have a car. When they went there, their children were trained, within the schools around us. But you say there is no money. Your child is abroad schooling. No money. You have one of the best houses in town. One of the best houses in town. No money. You drive one of the best cars. So when you have this group of people, and this group of people are the same people you are thinking they are going to manage this fund, don't you think about development will be slow? Don't you think about too many things may not happen the way we have dreamt or the way we thought it would be? So my real concern is about them. It's about the people that we will be elected into local government areas, not only in Akwa Ibom State, but in Nigeria, to manage these funds that will be, so much, too much money in the hands can make a man to, not only a man, let me put it that way, there's somebody to run mad.
Okay, enough of Afghanistan. We have to come back here back to Akwa Ibom State, because this is where we have gone all that state in Akwa Ibom State. Now the elections are coming up in October by the timetable of the state here and the state electoral commission. Yes, IKSEC. Now, the governor had said something during one of his moments on air about the zoning, and he has particularly one that they are going to stick to zoning, and then they are going to be very gender sensitive. How do you see that in your own perspective?
Talking about the governor of Akwa Ibom State, we have to give him kudos. In fact, we have to applaud him. Why? Somebody will say, why are you sounding that way? Well, when something is good, when you eat good food, you have to appreciate the person who cooks the food. So this man has been able to cook this food the way it ought to have been cooked years back. What the governor is doing, I am seeing him returning power to the grassroots. I am seeing him returning power to the community. I'm seeing him returning power to the people. Because as I go through the pages of my Facebook day after day and that of WhatsApp, you will see most of these zoning, the zoning thing. You will see villages, you see community people coming out to elect somebody, one person, whether 3 or 4, all of them will stand, will start election before them, and one person will emerge, and they will pick that person to go and represent them. And when it is done that way, you will also discover that the eras of people sitting in Uyo to write people's name is over. Power has really returned to the people. The people now elect who is going to be their own chairman, who is going to be their own councillor, who is going to be their own supervisor. Everything is done with it. You could see what it did during the time of bringing out those PAs from local communities. And you see that the people came together, even though there was a mismanagement, because there's nothing, when you have a group of people who are crooks, they will still want to have their way out of what is out of what governor said. So you can now see that people will sit down and see within the community who is good to go for us. And they know that when you are there, you will be answerable to them. Not like in those days that anybody can go there, anybody can sit in you, write your name, and off you go. And 3 years there, you are answerable to that person. So now we will have groups of councillors that we can call them and say, oh boy, that road is not there. Oh boy, there is no light in this place. Oh boy, there is no pipe-borne water. Yes, you can see also what the governor is doing, but many people are agitating, talking about bringing in the women.
Yeah, it's being gender sensitive, and because you said that, particularly that everywhere you have a male chairman, you're going to have a female vice chairman. Everywhere you have a female chairman, you're going to have a male vice chairman, and then every local government, local government should have at least 3-4 female councillors. I mean, that's not fair.
If it goes, it is good. It may not be fair, but it's good. But if you go down the lane, the women that were agitating for, or they have been awarded or given 35%. So if you don't have 6 to 4, in some local governments that you have about 10 wards, you give men the 6, you give women 4.
Is that not fair? No. I mean, come on. All inclusive government, because you're just saying that the governor has given power back to the people, and then you're giving power back to the people. A fairness, equity, and justice must be seen to be done. Is that not fair? Is it not equity to them?
Oh, well, we may not sound as if we are against the women. Some women do better. So let's give it to them the way it is. But then 6 and 4 plus 1, which is the vice chairman part. Let the women not take too much.
What of the chairman? It's going to be 7. And that tells me, I'm going to ask you a question, but I don't expect you to answer the question. When is the woman going to be the president of the Zone Government? Now, going forward, now we're talking about the elections coming over the zoning, even though we've not exhaustively discussed the zoning issue. Some people are still saying that this zoning, as you do in some local government, they have subjectively, beat it to still suit them. Particularly, I want to mention the local government, this particular local government in Urunko local government. Some people are saying it was 2 zone. Now some people are saying it is 3 zone because they wanted to favor some people. Now, in that scenario, how do the stakeholders and the people manage a situation where there is serious disagreement with the zoning system in their own particular area?
Yes, Patrick, something happened in Oron last Sunday, and I was there to watch what happened as the president of the youth body. What I saw that day, makes me to, after the meeting we came back, and I have a rethink, because everything I see day by day will teach me too many things. What went on my mind was, if things were done this way, there will be no rancor, there will be no war, there will be no hatred for one another. You could see the 2 strong men in order that were, looking for that one office. But you could see how God went through, used the deputy governor, used the nurse man, the reps, Martins Essen, the Honorable Commissioner for Transport, Oman Essen, and the younger brother, Murphy. All of them came together. The party came together. Everyone came together, the stakeholders, the elders, and so you, please, for peace to reign, you step down, let this other person, give this person a chance. And you could see how every one of them embraced themselves, and everything worked out that way. And after the meeting, I went back to the house and said, if things were done this way, if things, the stakeholders, all the who is who, came down for a peace talk, and they sat down together, and after the thing, you could see how the transition chairman embraced this other one who is incoming to take over from him. So you could see the atmosphere of peace.
When you say coming to take over from him, elections have not become
yes, I think,
and it's not a one party. I probably say it's not a one party state.
I know. That's why before we round off, we will say every other party. I'm not a PDP person. I am pastor. I am the youth leader. So when I talk for the PDP, I didn't mention party. I also talk for APC.
Because you said
I
the
also
person
talk
that's
for
coming in to take over.
Yes,
it is
well,
that you might have you have some leaning there. So that's why
well,
I wanted our listeners
yes,
to know
come on.
that the Akwa State is not a one-party state, and then whoever you're talking about was not considered, was not the candidate of the entire political party spread in Akwa State as it were. We just need to correct that impression.
Yes, before we go there talking about politics is all about interest. Maybe that is my own interest also. I also believe that APC can do the same thing. I also believe that Labour Party can do the same thing. Bringing all these people together, let there be no war amongst us. We are brethren. Every one of you is vying for one thing or the other. Let's sit down together on a round table and talk and bring one person. Right. So the one you see in Oromoko, I pity the community called Oboro Isonian, because that village, the village there, I heard, I may not be from there, but I'm from Oro, that it was their town. So I don't know what the stakeholders there will do. But I also heard the governor say they can negotiate. I heard him say there could be room for negotiation. So if they negotiate their way out, but I believe, let me put it in our balance, or we go to what we want.
All right. Based on the fact that you just said in your balance, what it means is that nobody should cheat anybody if I get that correctly. You're still back on the PATRYK EDEKE of Memories 96.5 FM here in New York. Remember, the phones were already buzzing before we started the conversation when I talked about what we were going to be discussing. Now you can call in and be part of the conversation when you dial the number 0803 0857755. Alternatively, you can always reach us also on 0809 066 6909. That can also be the number for you to send your WhatsApp message and tell us what's happening in your community as per the zoning, that the zonal and gender sensitivity of His Excellency towards local government elections, local government autonomy as it were, and what you feel should be the way forward as it were. Now coming back home, in Akwa State, His Excellency had already, in my own purview, practicing the local government autonomy as it were. Because if you want to practice the local government autonomy, I don't think you will be asking for scorecard as it were. What do you think? Because prior to now, we have local government chairman complaining, just like you said, zero allocation. There's nothing about this transition committee chairman in the last 6 months. We've not had that kind of complaint even on the street. What is your take towards that?
But none of them will tell us that we, as a broadcast journalist, which I am, I know what goes in. I may not be there when they kick and the knife, and when the knife is cutting the cake, but we see on the pages of the papers, and we also hear what goes into them. So it is high time all of them will say kudos to the sitting governor, because most of them will tell us that they never had it that way in the previous times. But coming back home, Pat, do you know most of them still complain? Iba haba. Afobo ida ake kebi ikiba. Idi nomzori iba. And most of them, the sitting transition chairman, most of them, I don't say all of them, no, most of them are eating alone, forgetting the supervisors, forgetting the vice chairman. How comfortable are you driving the cars, your car, or the cars you've been able to acquire or afford during this short period, and your vice chairman is still trekking, your supervisor is still trekking? We know what the governor is sending to you, so why can't you also make your life the same way they appointed you? It's the same way they also appointed others.
Now, look, the governor said something. It said that he described the Supreme Court ruling granting financial autonomy to local government as a welcome development and a relief to the state government. Now, he particularly noted that the judgment will not have a negative impact on Akwa state government in any way, stressing that so far under his administration and even the previous years, local governments have been getting their due allocations without any interference in the operations of the joint account. So as far as it's concerned, he also stated that the present state government has channeled volumes of funds into offsetting arrears of gratuities, pensions, salaries, and other entitlements to local government workers, noting that the autonomy granted the third tier of government is a relief to the state government. Do you think it's a relief to the state government in totality as it were?
Yes, we can justify his statement, because if he didn't do well to them, he wouldn't have sent the people, the State House of Assembly, and some of his executive to go around those local governments to see what they have done within that period of time. Because if somebody has not funded you, if the funds are not coming to you, nobody can ask you questions. So because he has funded them, there was fund he gave them. So it's justifiable to say go and see what they have done within a period of time and the funds that were accrued to them. So and most of them, you could see the scorecard, most of them lied. The House of Assembly people.
Oh yeah, I think we have a call.
And
please, let's pick this call. When we come back, we'll come back to you. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Am I speaking with
this is Memories 96.5 FM. You're on to back past your PATRYK EDEKE.
I'm calling from my name is Victor.
Victor. Please go ahead, Victor.
Yes. Calling from I really keep talking about every question you put to the president there. Normal president is definitely wrong with that of them. And what we're supposed to do for us. I'm not saying we should not create the governor. That's what we're supposed to do. On the issue of removing giving local government authority to the local government, they have taken off the funds from the state government. It's a lie. It's a lie, my brother. Let me clear to ourselves. Let's see the truth. Let us leave all the things. We need the money to go to them so that we monitor them, see what they do with the money, the funds, let's see them.
Okay, Victor.
It's still saying the same thing we said here.
Okay, Victor. Okay, Victor. Are you saying? Let's get you straight so that people don't misquote. Are you saying that the money going to local government now is not a relief to the state government? Is that what you're saying?
You know what?
It's not a relief to the state government.
No, I can't hear you very well.
Okay, Victor. All right. Maybe the network is. Thank you, Victor, for calling.
I can't hear you very well. I will call you back.
All right, Victor. Thank you. Now,
is it Victor was talking about pricing?
Yes.
Is it what we lack in our place, the place I come from? You also come from, the place we call Oro. We often don't appreciate people. So once you start appreciating what somebody have done or what somebody did, they see you as being sycophantic.
I don't think it's the modern day people that don't appreciate, because the Oro I come from, we have a culture of gratitude and appreciation. Maybe this alien culture, because Oro is becoming cosmopolitan as it were. So new people are coming in and they're coming with adverse culture. But the Oro will come from the Oro that is built on gratitude and appreciation.
But if you count my years on earth, I think God has blessed me.
Yeah, you are Gen X.
So I know our people. Do you know the greatest problem of an Aaron man is his brother? But every day we sit antagonizing the Bibius, the Annas. But really, your problem is hitting you from the back.
Okay, now going back to local government issue right now with the managers we're talking about now. With the zoning, people are like the zoning is already on course as it were. Now, I'm still going to hammer on the issue of the managers. If one of the challenges they had when monies were going straight to them, they had a joint account, was the issue of payment of remuneration. You know, people are complaining about their salaries not being paid. Now, if local government now are now having the sole control, I mean, they take them away from the joint account, where will the people run to for them to run to the state government for redress? Now, in this situation, where will the people run to for redress?
My father retired as an headmaster of a school. I'm a son of a teacher. I know what we used to go through. The people will ever tell you about zero allocation. local government funds were always coming to them directly in those days. What happened that the teachers were not paid? What happened that even the local government workers were not paid?
Yeah, that's the question.
Even
Nobody
what
wants to not to
happened?
complain, because then it was easier with the joint
So-
account
so-
to come to the state government and say, hey,
So-
we are not being paid.
That is why I've told you here that we are very happy about the autonomy. Money returning back to them as it used to be. But I'm afraid of the managers, so that we will not start having zero allocation again. After paying this and paying this, money has finished. Because as I know one thing that will happen, the monies, maybe the teachers that were paid by the state government and others, the state government will return it back to them to pay their workers. The state government will not be paying again.
Yeah, that's the relief. I think that's the relief the Excellency was talking about. Some of the backlog of activities, arrears,
Good.
promotional arrears, and all whatnot. I think it's going to be
Good. I, as a public servant, I sit here to tell you, if we as a people or the community, the stakeholders, should not play politics, should not do eye service with these people, let's sit down and see who we send there. Let's sit down and know who goes there to represent us before we start hearing of zero allocation, before we start hearing of Akwa Ibom. Since I've entered civil service or public service, we have not been owed. Yes, in the state. So if these people return back their gratuity, the leave grant, and all those entitlements of workers, have we taken into consideration before we start shouting again in the state? So that is why I said autonomy is good, but the managers of the fund.
All right. If you're just tuning in, this is still back by the EDEKE of Memories 96.5 FM, your memory station. I will be talking about local government autonomy and the elections that's coming up in October, as it were, here in Akwa Ibom State. And I have the privilege of having one right solution here in the house. Is the president of the apex youth body in worldwide, as it were. Remember, you can be part of this conversation if you dial the number 0803 085 7755. Or you can also dial the number 0809-066-6909. I'm a part of the conversation. Send in your messages, call in and let us understand whether or not the zoning has been adhered to in your community as it were, as directed by His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. And also tell us about how you feel about the gender sensitivity of His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State towards the upcoming local government election. Now we're talking about the managers because this is very key. It's not about the amount of resources in your hand. It's how well you can manage it. Now coming up to the manager, because I am very, very concerned about
how
the
creative. How
now,
creative are these people that you want to send? Are they just going there for because it is their turn and it's for political settlement? This person has labored so much for the party. You know, when I hear all these things, you have labored so much, you have labored so. What did you sweep the house for the party? Everything we do for each party we belong to, are they not being paid? So when we start settling people because they have done so much for the party, that's always my concern. And by that, working for the party will take away the place of creativity, will take away the place of taking intellectuals, take away the place of selecting who should be there to do what and for what reason.
Now, I want to believe that I want to hazard this assertion that His Excellency, when he talked about zoning, it's believed that in virtually every zone that there are capable hands there to run the local government as well and be councillors. So it is now on the purview of the people from each zone, and that of each zone and each party that will bring out who they feel is good enough for the office. Now, in that sense, because you were saying something about not running for office, not giving people a position because they've labored for the party over time and whatnot. But if somebody is capable and he has, in quote, labored for the party, don't you think he stands a chance to be given a position to serve?
PATRYK, I said two things. Laboring for the party doesn't mean that the person who is falling down and rising for the party should be given opportunity when you know that that person has nothing upstairs. Yes, quote me. Somebody is laboring for the party and you assess the person you know that this person is creative enough. He can manage funds. He can also be, develop places. We use his knowledge. And this person is cool, can listen to people. But don't be surprised. The people you used to be friends with, after 2-3 months, when they get into the office, they may not pick your calls because it has been happening. Not because there is something you want to beg from them.
No, but when they attend office, they have numerous calls, more than they used to have. So you cannot.
No.
You want to bust their ears with calls because virtually everybody will be calling them at the same time. Unlike when they will never assume.
No, Pat, you and I will work together. There's no time I come to see your calls and I don't return. Okay, I called you yesterday, and today you returned my call this morning. So there is no how somebody who have worked with you, who has been a part of you, you don't even know whether it's giving you an idea. You don't even know whether he sees something and wants you to be part of it.
Maybe I return your call because I'm here to assume I elected position. When I assume I elected position, maybe I might not return your call again.
So that's what you keep seeing around them. So what are we saying? Some of them have been, overtaken by this office. As they enter, they don't take the office swallow them.
Only I thought that please, we'll have a call. We'll come back after the call. We'll come back to you. Hello, good morning.
Pick calls.
Please, your name and where you're calling from. Go ahead, please.
I think I want to say that this upcoming local government election should be something that appreciate should remember the fact that they are independent and they must not be influenced or controlled by any person in terms of conducting the election. And I want to believe that the Nigerian police should know that they have work to do. And INEC must also know that they need certain security agents. So, the RTC should have security measures in place that will make sure that they don't give room to anybody to influence the election. And I want to advise other people in different political parties to aspire and come up because people really desire to vote those they believe will come and make good use of the opportunity that the local government has been given. I mean the financial autonomy and whatsoever opportunity given to them, so that the people will be able to benefit very well directly from the government of the nation. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, though. You just said something there very key. Going down to the same thing we were talking about.
Yeah.
About Akisek being free. But over time, Akisek has been an unbiased umpire.
I don't agree with you, Patrick. Akisek. That's why I thank the governor. For telling you and not choose whom you love. And he also added that he was not going to influence anybody's result.
But Akisek do not have a history of influencing anybody's result.
I'm coming there. That the governor will not buy phone for anybody. The governor also will not talk to anybody for anybody. Yeah. That means you yourself, you have to talk to the people, and the people have to bring out somebody they feel they are comfortable with. And that goes out to all the political parties. Now, we are going to look at this election very well, because all the parties will also contest. Bring out somebody ably qualified in your own political party. Another person will bring out his own, so that Akisek will do justice. We have seen election in other states. Other parties also win. We've seen election in other states. The sitting party will lose. We've seen election in other states where the sitting party will clear all the results. Also know that there are some candidates that people will influence to come in, which were not loved. So if those people go to other political parties that accept them, or the people also bring them out, give them their results.
But that's what has been happening, because the truth is that in election, the numbers won't count. So people are party loyalists. They vote for their party, not necessarily the candidate as it were, and that's why these political offices belong to the party by the constitution of our country. So even when a popular candidate, let me finish, even when a popular candidate leaves a popular party and goes to another party, it's always very difficult for such a candidate to win, because most of the people who are voting for the party. Thank you, Ola Bright Solution. You know, we have actually come to the end of the program, but before I yield the microphone, the Ibomle began its entrepreneurial training for 400 female youth yesterday here in Akwa Ibom State. The 400 female youths in Akwa Ibom State were drawn exclusively from the female youth groups. When I talk about the female youth groups, we're talking about the Lemon Group, the Purple Group, the Golden Girls, and the Arise Ladies in White. 400 of them have started their intensive entrepreneurial training yesterday, courtesy of the state government of the government of Akwa Ibom State. Now, after their training, they are going to have a grant of 500,000 naira to start up their business, an additional 250,000 naira for shop rentals. This is courtesy of His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. So, if you are part of any of these female youth that was shortlisted, this is the first tranche of the female youths that His Excellency has decided to go to give them the entrepreneurial training. Now, I want to say thank you, Ola Bright Solution, for making our time to be on Backpass with PATRYK on Memories 96.5 FM. It's been nice to be here, and thank you to all our listeners out there. Now, we want you to out there look at the Arise agenda, embrace the Arise agenda.
The governor have done it so well. Not in those days we used to have people who just come out to find people that go. So this time, after doing that, you are given something.
All right, thank you very much. We're out of time. Thank you very much, Patrick, Mr. Patrick, for that. And I didn't introduce you because you already gone, 19, I'll be 18, I'll be 17 minutes. I had already gone out of the time, so I just decided to, let you take the wheel. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week. We've come to the end of Backpass with Patrick EDEKE, and coming up next is